And Mr. Jim Dietz.
This episode brought to you by Olivia's Lemonade, the finest in Alexandria.
Very good. Aaron's with us in spirit. He sent in his reviews. We'll get to that when we get to that point, of course, with hashtag passage and what you by Taco Bell, Live Moss, and Buster ratings. He wished he could join us, but he's doing his Hollywood stuff, right? So
always on around that money.
Yeah,
it's Oscar season, so I mean, it's Oscar season. He's got to go see all these movies.
All these movies and take all these pictures and
all these big parties and events. See all these first movies with his beautiful girlfriend in his beautiful state of California and nice clothes. And
which I was wondering, if you follow his Facebook page, like he always takes pictures with him and Anna, his girlfriend. They're a lovely couple, but who takes these pictures? Like, is he a photographer following him around or something?
They have a guy.
It's all that. It's all the Disney. It's all the Disney Marvel money that he's getting, under the table to fork out these shitty views about good movies.
I don't know. It's not, there's no selfies. They're all like pose shots. It's really funny. But Aaron,
he did give Rogue One a good review.
Yes, like 4 out of 5 or something like that. Yeah, it was good.
It's from the Mouse House.
The Mouse House. Hey, listen, the gravy train's going, right? You gotta let it roll. Right. That's right. But yeah, so we'll get to his review once we get to that point, and we try to arrange it this week.
It has a super long selfie stick.
It's like long and curved, and it's like a steady cam at that point. I mean, it's,
their arms are at their side. Like how?
Yeah, how's he holding it? Right?
See, I picture like a whole team, a stylist, makeup, photographer, a grip to hold like the white stuff to the side, so they look good. Somebody with a spray bottle, so they look spray them a little bit of like perspiration, so they look like they're in the summer.
Glistening. It's a glycerin.
Yeah, they want to look good. Yeah. I see like a whole publicist team.
Nah, my bad. On a super long selfie stick. He is a black guy.
There you go.
What does that have to do with anything?
Man,
I don't even get it.
I mean, it's true, but we always have to be, labeled that way. I don't know what I go through every day.
Man, oh man. So
always gets to be edited out later. Lucky you, Greg.
Yeah, that's what you think. This episode was directed by Michael E. Satrazemis, written by Matthew Negrete and Channing Powell, and it's going to be our final Walking Dead podcast for the year 2016. And we've done quite a bit. If you think about it, we did the second half of season 6, I guess, right? Then we did Fear of the Walking Dead, the whole thing, pretty much of Fear.
Every bit of it.
Every bit of it. And then we did these 8 episodes. It's been a very
don't
busy year.
Don't forget we did Flight 468 and
462.
462. Sorry,
right.
How could I forget? And of course we have For the Walking Dead hashtag passages presented by Taco Bell with Moss.
Yeah, so much packed in.
Yeah,
I just want to say,
yes.
through this summer, Craig, he took the biggest bullet of all of us and hosted the show through 16 episodes of Fear of the Walking Dead. And I, sir, say, here, and you deserve a medal pinned on your chest for that.
Well, I appreciate that. I didn't know it was going to be such a procedure. I rolled my sleeves up. I was excited about it. I'm like, okay, well, thank you. It's actually been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this.
It was scary at times. I'll admit, it was scary. It was frightening. It was a dark time in the WDTV podcast history.
If we go back, there were some episodes where, if you remember, just me and you, Chubb. I think we did one just me and you. I think we did one just one time. Yeah.
I mean, he held my hand and he kept me calm, but we got through it. We got out the other side.
That's right.
And here we are at the mid-season finale
of The Walking Dead.
Actual Walking Dead.
I know. It's great. It's good to be here. And but it's been a great year, and looking forward to obviously a lot more next year too. So this is kind of bittersweet. But here we go. So we'll get right into it. Your initial thoughts on this episode before we go into the synopsis. I mean, you guys, please. There's another 90-minute journey in the Walking Dead world.
Well, I'll go first, I guess.
Yeah.
All in all, I really, really enjoyed this episode. There's a lot of stuff that I was very glad to see get kind of explained or tied up. Happy to see Daryl, spoiler Jerry, Daryl there at the end, got his way back up to the hilltop and, all that. I have a feeling that they're going to quickly go through the war in the second half of the season. So I think Negan will survive this season, but
his contract said that.
Yeah. He announced that like 2 weeks ago, right? He's like, oh, you're up for season 8.
Yeah, so did Steven Yeun. But so but anyway, I'm just glad. I see what they're gearing up towards. We'll get that the second half, and then I honestly think that we're going to see the Whisperers in season 8.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
but this episode got us to where I wanted us to be, and that I was kind of afraid they weren't going to quite get there by the mid-season, and they did. So I was very happy. Not very happy about Olivia though. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, she was nice. I mean, she was an innocent townsperson over in Alexandria, but it was her time, I suppose.
But glad to see Spencer get it. Sorry, Jerry. Sorry.
I think everyone was glad to see that. All right. No other initial thoughts? We can just jump right into it unless you guys have something to say, or.
Well, this was a very, I don't know, this episode made me feel angry.
Really?
Yeah, it really did. It made me feel angry, and not because it was something horrible that the show did or it was a bad episode. It's just the actual characters and what they did made me very angry. Like there's a lack of accountability between characters.
Like good angry, like
well, I think it should. It's part of the story for me to be angry with some of these characters. I mean, they are responsible for the deaths of innocent people because of their own selfishness.
It's true.
And that really made me very, very angry. Like I didn't even realize how mad it made me until it happened. And then thinking back on it, I just sat there going, that really pissed me off. Like, for that character to do what she did and cause the death that she did really pissed me off. And Michonne, like there were things that happened in this episode. If it didn't work out the way that it did, like there was a convenient way things worked out, Michonne could have gotten everybody killed too.
I see what you're saying. She was planning her own little ambush on
right, but nothing was planned together. So it's like it was very convenient for everything to just align the way that it did. That there wasn't one thing that caused him to go crazy. Like they're not ready for a war with this dude right now. No. Like they have nothing to do that, and it just pissed me off so bad. It was like even when he tried to talk. We'll get into it when you I don't even want to talk about that. It just really pissed me off.
Interesting. Wow.
Well, so I was gonna say, I thought especially for a mid-season finale, it was just kind of mediocre. It was a lot of moving chess pieces around to set up what eventually will be the the eventual against the saviors or whatever. But it just seems that I don't know. I guess maybe it's also my expectations are kind of tempered because it's a mid-season finale. They usually have like a major plot point happen or something really. I mean, we kind of see this tonal shift in this episode where the kind of the ending kind of signifies like there's some hope along the way. There's some sort of way out from under this. But I don't know. I just thought it was just okay. If
you think back to last year's mid-season finale, it was also very anticlimactic. It was just them getting covered in the guts and their way through the town. Right? It was like, okay, well, what happens now? They're in the guts. They're walking through the zombies. That's it. That's the mid-season finale. This is what you're giving me. Like this, at least there was, like you said, a little bit of hope, a little bit of a tonal shift. A chapter has definitely ended and a new one has began or is about to begin. So I guess I can respect it for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this first half of the season overall, it came out with this giant clash and bang of just, what happened very in a much annoyingly way to most of us, but still a bang, if you will. And then it just was quiet. And it's slowly been building like a crescendo, just, and rather than, get there, it's finally at that peak where it's about to just go over the top. And that's where we're at. And I kind of like that they did it that way. I wasn't very happy during the journey about certain things, but now I kind of see what it's going to pay off for me. At least I'm hoping that's what I'm seeing, because that's what I feel that we were set up to. So all that war is coming.
Yeah, well, let's brace for it, because I think it's going to be pretty interesting. And even show you a little bit of a preview from the February episode that's going to air. You hear Rick's voiceover saying, we're going to get the Hilltop, we're going to get the Kingdom, we're going to band together. So they're already setting the stage for that. If you don't know what's coming, it's like that's what they're going to be doing. So it's they're not making any secret of it. Let's put it that way.
No, not at all.
So let's jump right into it. Cold open. We see Maggie sitting on the ground. I think she's wearing Glenn's hat. I guess it's Glenn's hat, right?
It is.
Okay. At the makeshift graves of Glenn and Abraham at the Hilltop community. She then gets up, proceeds to climb atop a lookout post along the fence at the front of the compound. And then Gregory, lovely Gregory, she strolls up and correctly calls Maggie by her name and says that, a lot of townspeople are talking about how Maggie and Sasha, you remember her name as well, saved them when the Saviors set that trap. And, don't let go of your head. And she's trying to basically say that to her. And Maggie responds to Gregory, well, it seems like it's bothering you. Don't let it bother you. She's owning him even in this conversation. She's totally owning this guy. And then she sees that Maggie's holding an apple. Maggie sees that Gregory's holding an apple and asks if he's going to eat the apple, and he replies yes, but is shamed into tossing it up when another guard on the fence shouts down, hey, dude, she's pregnant, right? So Maggie smiles, gets the apple thrown at her, and she turns back and eats the apple with kind of a satisfied look on her face. Totally owning Gregory there, it seemed like.
Such a dick.
Yeah, he totally is. Totally is. We cut to the scene where Negan is in Rick's house, and he's shaving, and he's using a straight razor blade to shave his face, and he's got Carl watching him along with Judith, and he's telling Carl as he's shaving, always against the grain, kid, always against the grains. He's kind of smiling as he's teaching Carl how to shave. Again, playing this father figure, or at least Uncle Negan. We cut to Daryl in his cell. He still has that go now note and a key, and he finally decides to make a run for it right now. He opens the door, he's out. Back to Carl's house, kind of jumping around a little bit in this cold open. Uncle Negan is now clean shaved, and he's making some delicious spaghetti and meatballs. He's got Carl rolling out some dough for some delicious dinner rolls. And we see outside Olivia is on the porch, kind of still sobbing. She's still in shock and awe about what's going on here. And is met by Tara, who brings her a can of instant lemonade, which apparently is Negan's favorite. He likes his lemonade. Tara offers to stand in for her, but Olivia says, no, I'm gonna get through this. I told Rick I'd take care of Judith. That's what I'm gonna do. So on the inside, Carl is now setting the table. And Negan smacks his tongue a little bit and tells Carl that they're going to need another setting. He also has Olivia pour him some lemonade. So Negan's basically in Rick's house, playing Papa figure here. He's in Rick's chair, making dinner with the family. Like it's so surreal. Uncle Negan.
Well, I mean, how much more can he ingratiate himself and make himself like, intimidating though? By doing this very thing. And like, the scene with Carl watching him shave, he's just showing Carl like, look, I have a straight razor right against my throat, and you still can't kill me. That's how I was kind of taking that. It's like he was like showing off to Carl. It was like, look, like I said, I have his razor. It's right on my throat as I'm shaving. All you have to do is like push me real hard, and you still can't do it. He was almost telling Carl that scene. I thought anyway.
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't that in the comic too? Him shaving in front of Carl?
I think so.
I hadn't looked, but yeah. So I want to know though. The question I have is during this entire thing where he's making the dinner and all that and the spaghetti and everything. At what point did Daryl's mouth start to just drool and drift off to pasta land?
Oh, it didn't take but a second. Once I saw the sauce in the
you saw that gravy going.
I knew it was coming. I was like, when you get to the gravy part, I'm already in. I'm like, well, Negan ain't that bad.
So you find out he stirred the sauce with Lucille.
Oh man, it's a little flavor, huh?
Well, a little flavor. I mean, put a little garlic on there.
Little stock.
He does clean it off. I mean,
yeah, she's clean. She's clean. I mean, but he's not using fresh. I mean, look, he's got his canned sauce though, right? I mean, there's nothing fresh left. There's no tomatoes. He's not like he's making it from scratch. But
they do have a garden there.
That's true. It did look pretty good though. They look tasty enough. So we cut to Rick and Aaron trying to make it across this Walker Lake, just a lake totally infested with walkers, and there's a houseboat in the middle of it full of supplies, as we saw from last week. There's a small boat, like it's like a little bass boat or something, but it's full of bullet holes. So they know it's gonna take water on quick. Rick offers to allow Aaron to stay back, and Aaron says he's gonna pretend he didn't hear that, which I thought was pretty cool. He's basically showing Rick that he's kind of a badass too, and don't tell me I can stay back. I'm with you.
Well, that whole sequence with Rick and Aaron just seems like a video game to me. Almost like a part of like Resident Evil. It's like the only supplies are you have to use this boat and time it with this, and you know what I mean. It just seemed like in this episode where they have so many different scenes and so many different moving parts, it just felt like a distraction. It's just like they could have done that last episode and just said, okay, we had and the only reason they had it was to establish that they're going to have some sort of ammunition or whatever to go after the Saviors in coming weeks. That was the only plot point. The only plot point to come out of that. And it just seemed like they drove it on or dragged it out too much.
So it seemed gratuitous. Like they say, okay, we haven't done any water zombies in a while. Let's throw a lake full of zombies. Let's put Rick in a boat and let's see what happens. Like it's almost they just did it to do it, right? It's not like it drove the story anywhere. Yeah. At the dinner table, it's Negan sitting at the head of the table with Olivia, Carl, and baby Judith. Negan is tired of waiting for Rick to arrive home, so he decides to start dinner, but he puts Lucille on one of the empty chairs and declares it's time to start eating, and he asks Carl to pass the rolls, please.
I thought he was about to ask him to say grace, because I was like, oh, jeez. That was funny, though.
So we have to our credits. We cut to Alexandria. The Saviors are starting to clean out Spencer for Hire's car full of newly gathered supplies. So really, this episode picks up directly where last week ended. Like, there's really no time jumping in this one. And they're impressed. They shake his hand. One of the guys does anyway. Says that, he obviously fought hard for this stuff, and it's just a transaction, we appreciate you doing this. A blonde female Savior, who's unnamed at this point, is also impressed and kind of takes a little liking of to Spencer there. Says that, if he keeps this up, maybe she'll take him back to where they call home and, buy him a sandwich. Wink, wink.
Brown chicken, brown cat.
At this point, she looks at Eugene, who's simply staring at this whole interaction between the two of them, and she says to him, hey, yo, haircut, you like to watch? And Eugene replies, well, yes. He just says yes.
He let it slip out.
Right. Yes.
It's like the one moment when he wasn't crying this episode.
Right. Yeah. He says it so matter of fact, like duh.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So he said it almost like he meant to say it in the inside voice, but then he said, did I say that out loud? Oh, my bad.
Yes.
I tried to keep the creep inside, didn't even let the creep out.
Oh, that's funny. So we got to Carol's house, her little cottage, if you will, her little residence away from the kingdom. She's on the couch reading a book with a nice little fire going in the fireplace. She looks very content, very relaxed. She hears a thud on the front porch. So she gets up and sees that it's Morgan dropping off a bundle, which we come to find out later is fruits and vegetables. But she invites him inside, and he tells her that he knows that she wants to be left alone, and but she's spending for herself. But the fresh produce is hard to come by. She says she's already stocked and opens the door to the next room where you see a whole nice supply of fresh produce. And Morgan snickers and says, "Ezekiel?" And she says, "Yeah." Carol asks how Morgan himself is doing, and he says, "Good." And then Carol says, "Great, now you can go." She's like, "Okay, I'm done with you now. Goodbye."
Right. Carol, her attitude is just so funny now. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sick of all these people caring about me. Oh,
yeah.
It's so tiring. I can't stand it that so many people like me and want to be my friend. How dare they?"
It's strange, but she just wants to run away. And
Right.
But here's the other thing too is, and I get, people love her and all that other stuff and everything else, but all the shit that she's been through and the things that she's done, she's earned her right to want to be by herself. I mean, if that's what she wants, that's what she wants.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to be by herself. She could get up and walk out right now in between. They are not watching her like that 24/7.
That's true.
No one is keeping a gun to her head. It is disingenuous of her to keep pretending she doesn't care about them.
Good point.
She does. She has feelings for
Ezekiel,
and she has feelings for. It doesn't have to be romantic or not, but she has feelings. She cares about Daryl. She cares about Morgan. She does. But it's just that I don't know why she feels like it's almost like she's stuck in the mask and she just can't just be Carol anymore. It's like she just has to keep playing the grumpy cat. I don't care when she really does. It's obvious she does because she could always run away. If she really wanted to leave and get away from them, she could do it over at night and be gone.
Maybe she's just coming to terms with everything now. Like, this is her process. Like she's, because last season she was all the crazy panic attacks and then running away. At least she's kind of like seems mellow now. She's just all right. Maybe she's just detuning a bit, reasoning things out in her head. She's coming to terms with who she is, and
it's like I could see her being the "Don't call me, don't call me." Why even call me?
I'm looking forward though to the speech that Rick is going to give her to convince her to come fight with him.
Right. Because it would have been as easy as Daryl's caught, but they don't have that. That's what I thought we were going to get, but we don't have that. So
we need you to save Daryl. Daryl's in trouble. We need your
And
help.
Coral, he's got Coral as well.
Coral, and he's stupid. Coral's just plain dumb now.
And lest we forget what a great badass Carol is. I mean, go back to the Terminus.
Yeah,
there was was it last episode? It might have been last episode. Somebody was who just assumed that Carol didn't know how to fight, and I think it was Morgan who came to her defense. I'm trying to remember.
No, it's actually right here. It's in this one.
Yeah, it was in the scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of they weave it into the next one because on the way out, Morgan opens the door, and then I think it's Richard. Is that who? I kind of forgot who this guy is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
This week, I'm sorry.
Gotcha. I didn't really go back and circle back my notes, but Richard's at the front door, and then we'll get back to the scene a little bit later because we go back to the Walker Lake, and Rick and Aaron's little raft is taking on lots of water. They're struggling against the walkers, floating in the water, and they make it to an intact canoe kind of nearby. Maybe halfway across the lake, there's a canoe just sitting there. They use their wooden planks that Aaron broke off the warning sign as paddles, as well as weapons against the bobbers trying to make it into the boat. Once they make it into the canoe, Rick kills a walker who's hiding inside of it. But then Aaron is pulled into the water by a walker. Rick screams, "Hold on!" And Aaron is quickly surrounded in the lake. It's actually a pretty tense little scene. And he dives underwater and kind of swims away from the walkers and head towards Rick. Finally, his head pops up and he says, "I'm okay, I'm all right." And he makes it to the houseboat. And then Rick also meets him there, and they just kind of lay out like they're exhausted on the boat once they make it there.
Now, the implication over all of this, though, is a major cast member is going to die.
Spencer, major
so
cast
just
member?
remember that. Just remember that.
Yeah,
that's the overall, oh my goodness, special guest
On Talking Dead. Yeah, it's a secret guest.
Yeah. So just remember that as we watch it, because it was in my head as I was watching this episode.
That's funny. So you're thinking that it was going to be him at this point, but it wasn't. Okay.
And then I was still going to go, it's not a major cast member, but I thought he was a clown.
Daryl's trying to make it out of the prison compound. He's stuck in some kind of hallway. I guess he's almost out of the prison, but he's stuck there. When another inmate spills a jar of pickles, I guess, it cracks it open as he's walking down the other end of the hall. And the jailer, who you can't see, you just hear the voices, makes this guy clean it up. Daryl then hides, into a room. He goes and sneaks in there, and apparently this is Dwight's bedroom he ends up in, of all places. And the reason we know that is because we see the little wooden carvings there on a table. Daryl finds a change of clothes, he puts on a t-shirt, and starts to eat from a jar of peanut butter with his finger. He was very hungry.
He was starving.
Yeah. Back on the houseboat, Rick and Aaron find a good amount of supplies and weapons, just no ammo. There's also a little love note written from the previous owner inside one of the boxes saying, "Congrats for winning, but you still lose," with the drawing of the middle finger in the air.
Mother effer.
Yeah. So they use some paddles in the wind to actually get the entire houseboat back to the edge of the lake for easy unloading. Rick again thanks Aaron for going along with him and gathering supplies for Negan. He says that even Michonne doesn't understand why they have to do this. But Aaron simply says, he was there when Negan took out the two guys and that he understands. He understands this is the way it is now. And we see that they're being watched across the lake by a sneaky character with boots held together with wire. So we see that they're being watched. And this is actually a pretty cool scene though with Aaron and Rick. He even says, if your heart's still beating, I guess the name of the episode, you're doing okay. He kind of goes, there's a little speechifying going on there between the two of them, but it's a cool little scene. So who do we think the sneaky character is? Any thoughts, guys?
Dwight.
Is it? I mean,
I think it's Dwight.
Okay.
I kind of was thinking that because I haven't done it yet because I haven't had the time, but I wanted to go back to when they were escaping and they ran into Daryl and them in the woods because I'm thinking he had those boots on in that scene.
This is the same guy we see at the end too. I mean, the end of the episode.
Yeah. And he had the whole face covered, which made me think Dwight because he has that scar, and it'd be hard to hide the scar if you show the eyes.
Well, it also made me think of something from the comic that I won't talk about. But
Yeah, that's what made me think of.
Yeah.
So after commercial, Michonne is still cruising in the car with the redheaded savior woman, asking her some questions at gunpoint, but she doesn't answer. She remains silent. And Michonne says, "Look, it's okay that I'm not going to kill Negan today, but I want to make sure that I set it up and do it right." She's kind of explaining, her thoughts to this woman, this savior, but she's not getting much information out of her. Back at the hilltop, Sasha walks into Maggie's place carrying an apple pie. Maggie then asks about Jesus, but Sasha said he left on a run earlier that morning. Maggie begins to scarf down the pie, but runs out to get some milk to wash it down. Enid then asks Sasha why she just lied to Maggie about Jesus, because she knows he left last night. Sasha replies because she's trying to prevent Maggie from harm, but sent him to do what needed to be done in regards to Negan. In Carol's house, Richard starts to make his case that the kingdom needs to band together and rise up against the saviors. He said that Ezekiel met the saviors in the woods outside the kingdom a few months ago, and that the deal that they struck, that they bring regular shipments of food and supplies, and the saviors stayed away from the kingdom. So that's why they meet them outside the kingdom. They don't want the townspeople to know that they're being extorted by these group of saviors.
They wanted to live in that nice little fantasy.
Exactly. So the townspeople are mostly in the dark to this deal. Richard's afraid that one day the saviors will break their agreement and attack the town directly. He pleads with Morgan and Carol to fight them, because they know how to fight them, and to help convince Ezekiel to strike them first and destroy them. In Alexandria at the church, Rosita is in a bit of a crisis and looking for some guidance from Father Gabriel. He reassures her that they will win. They just have to wait for the right moment. So he's very confident right now. He's in a pretty interesting place right now, Gabriel. Like this warrior priest thing. He's like, no, we're going to win, but we got to wait for our moment. It could take a long time. He says, don't shoot Negan, because if that happens, she'll be dead, and the group needs her. And simply, she starts crying and he kind of walks away. Back in Carol's house, she flat out rejects Richard's proposal. Morgan also stands behind his philosophy, saying that it will cost a lot of lives. Like, of course, Morgan the pacifist is saying, well, there's some kind of peace right now. Why should we disrupt that? And Carol just doesn't want any part of violence anymore. She's done with it too. Richard's pretty pissed. Starts to say that when the saviors come, the blood will be on both of their hands. Spencer for Hire returns to his house that is still messed up from Rick searching it for guns. Then there's kind of this cool edit where you see the house going from being very dirty to being clean. Like it's like this little edit wipe that goes through there. And he gets dressed, cleans himself up, grabs a bottle of scotch, and practices saying hi in the mirror. And eventually then leaves the house.
Yeah. Is it, like, we need any more proof of, like, his douchiness. He's, like, rehearsing what he's going to say to Negan and stuff.
Hi, I'm Spencer Monroe or something. Yes, hello.
Just stupid.
Yeah.
So Richard's in the woods, we see, and he enters a well-camouflaged RV or a camper. I guess he's using it to store some stuff. I really couldn't figure out what was in there. There's some supplies in there, gasoline and some bottles. I don't know what that was all about, but he just collapses on the floor. He's really upset, and he throws a bottle and basically begins to cry on the floor. I guess he thinks that it's just going to happen soon. That his lovely town is going to be overrun. Spencer is walking towards Negan, who is at Rick's house, when Rosita asks him if he has a hot date. They chat for a while, and Spencer asks why she's playing with his emotions, basically. Like, I mean, they did. I totally forgot that they had like this thing where they slept together. I forgot. It happened so long ago.
It was so fast.
It was so fast, yeah. Because it happened after Abraham kicked her out, basically.
Exactly. That was her rebound.
Rebound, right? And he asked, like, why were you even into me? Why did you even, like, why? And she's like, well, I kind of use you. You're tall and you're kind of cute and made me forget things for a little while. Like, she just totally straight out told him why she did what she did, yeah.
Yeah, she swiped right.
She tindered him? Is that what she did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just a booty call. Oh, it was just a hookup.
Just hook up. It's on a rebound.
Sometimes it would be that way.
Daryl finally breaks out and makes his way to his motorcycle. No sooner does Fat Joey appear from stage left, he throws up his hands and outflies a sandwich he was just munching on, of course. Joey pleads with Daryl, saying, look, man, you can just leave. I'm not going to stop you. The door's right here. Joey's basically pleading for his life, saying he was just doing these things to get by, and he doesn't mean any of it. Daryl doesn't want to hear it, and bashes Joey's head in with a metal pipe that he got when he was inside the prison there. He was carrying. Daryl corrects Joey, saying that it's not just about getting by, it's about taking it all. And at this point, Jesus appears, and he witnesses this whole thing.
Yeah, Jesus takes the wheel.
Yeah, he goes, whoa, Daryl. Whew. So
I just have to say, they get pretty violent in the show sometimes, but the level of violence against obese dudes, fat guys, if you will, is quite disturbing.
Yeah, it disturbs me too.
You had the well zombie in season 2 that Glenn cut in half. You had Otis that Shane. Yeah. I'm telling you, there is some sort of low-level bias against us fat people. Just
it would be better as a fat person than as a black person.
Yeah.
Look at T-Dog and working your way up to now. Think about it. I mean, you just named like 4 obese people. I can name 8 black characters who have all been killed.
Yeah, it went from like T-Dog to Oscar to
everybody hates Chris got killed.
Tyrese, everybody hates Chris. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I agree. # Black Lives Matter, but also # Fat Lives Matter as well.
We're in a whole weird area here.
So, actually, no, remember that episode of Nebraska? That reminds me, right? The two guys that Rick took out, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Tony and whatever the guy's name was, right? Yeah. So then we see Daryl, as Fat Joey is done, he reaches into his belt and takes Rick's python, which he just happened to be carrying. Jesus also witnesses this whole thing, like I said, and Daryl tells him he has the keys to the bike and they roll out. So apparently, I mean, there's a lot of speculation on the net who delivered the keys to Daryl. And I'm thinking now it was not Jesus, because why would Daryl tell Jesus, hey, I have the keys? Right.
That's why I think it's Dwight.
It was either Dwight or Dwight's wife.
Dwight's wife, yeah, it's either one of the two. Right.
But I don't even think it's her. I don't even think it's her because she knows there's repercussions. Like she would have done it the other prior episode when she was whispering to him, like if she had the nerve to do it, but I don't think she had the nerve to even do that.
I don't think it was her either. I think it was Dwight, but I think it's a possibility it was her too.
I think it's time is Dwight ready to make that move, because I think it was telling that he went into Dwight's room, like he found himself going into Dwight's room in the first place.
Yep.
So back in town, Spencer makes it to Rick's house, who's guarded by, I guess, his lead female henchman, Arat. At first doesn't let Spencer come up the stairs, but Negan says, no, don't be an ass, let the man pass. He's bearing gifts.
Angry.
Yeah.
Turn me on a little bit.
Spencer walks up the stairs carrying the bottle of scotch, and Negan asks, hey, is that for me? And Spencer introduces himself. Hi, I'm Spencer Monroe.
Yeah, creep.
Professional creep.
Professional. Yeah. But now it is the moment you've all been waiting for. It is a very special commercial break where we have a riveting 2016 ending to Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, brought to you by Taco Bell, Live Moss. Jim Dietz will read the official synopsis written by Aaron Newirth.
Hold on. I gotta put my blood pressure cuff on, everything monitor. All right, I'm ready.
Get your heart pills ready, get situated.
In the words of the great Biz Markie, let me clear my throat. Okay.
So Jim, would you please take it away?
Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, presented by Taco Bell, Live Moss. Mid-season finale for Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, presented by Taco Bell, Live Moss, was incredible. Following the fantastic setup for the Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, presented by Taco Bell, Live Moss mid-season finale last week, this week finds Sierra and Gabby, formerly known as Panicky Woman, climbing down into a hole. Of course, there wouldn't be an episode of Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, presented by Taco Bell, Live Moss, without drama. And this Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, presented by Taco Bell, Live Moss episode certainly had it, as Gabby questions what is going on, while Sierra insists Colton tried to kill her, so she stabbed him in the leg. Meanwhile, Colton is screaming for Gabby not to keep going and to be careful. Then, in a surprise move for Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, presented by Taco Bell, Live Moss, Sierra is seen hitting a tripwire, cut to black, and we hear some sort of explosion.
Ooh.
That's it until February for Fear the Walking Dead, #passage, presented by Taco Bell, Live Moss, and it will be exciting to learn what happens next.
Richard, you okay? I mean,
yeah, I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm good.
All right. So we don't know what happened. Wow, Jim, that was awesome. I'm like speechless. That was so good, and I'm sad to see this go until February. I'm actually almost more sad to see this hold off until the actual show. So wow, thanks for bringing this to us, and Aaron, thanks for sending in your your lovely synopsis as usual. We definitely appreciate that.
And as always, hashtag live Moss.
Live Moss. That's right.
Pass the burrito.
You get paid in volcano sauce.
I love the volcano. They better bring that back. I love lava sauce. It was the stupidest thing to let that go.
I never had it.
It was this orangey kind of spicy sauce that they had. It was a volcano taco that they used to sell, and then the sauce that was in the volcano taco was lava sauce. And it was really good. Like, it was a spicy, creamy, whatever.
But it didn't taste like hot sauce, though, right?
No, it was not as hot. It didn't have a kick. It's like hot sauce did. It was just this Taco Bell salty.
Spicy.
It was delicious. It was great. It was awesome. And they got rid of it because that was around the time that the Dorito Locos tacos were coming in. And they had the fiery one. Yeah,
See, I think those are overrated. I think they're too salty.
they're very salty. You're right. They're even saltier than like Doritos. Like they're even like overcoated. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I tried the deep fried Cheeto thing too, and that was also way too salty.
Oh,
I
that's
just thought
good.
it's macaroni and cheese dipped in Cheeto dust and deep fried. I had them at Burger King for like a hot minute. I tried them.
I was gonna say Burger King had those, right? Yeah, the
They were
Cheetos.
they were super salty. I also
Yeah.
tried the Whopperito, but
I never
I
tried
tried that too. I did. I had
I
a
mean,
lot of
it was like the sandwich of instant regret. I got it. I regretted buying it. I ate it. I regretted eating it.
You
It's
just
didn't
wanted a
regret
regular
it
Whopper,
till
right? You just want a regular plain old Whopper.
like that
Yeah.
girl you run into like a few years later at the club. You're like, oh yeah, I remember you. Yeah.
You know what's even worse is when you get on the train from work and you see her on the train, you're like, oh damn, and the door closed.
You can't get off the train because you're
Yeah,
on
and you gotta pretend to look everywhere but her, and you notice that she's looking and she's burning a hole in your head.
yeah, like the laser coming through her eyes.
You know what I call that? I
What's
call
that?
that Wednesday.
Yeah,
happened?
what
We'll leave
Whopper
that
was
there.
it? What Whopper was it? I missed.
The Whopperito.
Oh.
That was like they made the Whopper
Yeah.
into a burrito. Yeah, it was.
I almost ordered it because I had a coupon and I just looked at the thing, the big picture on the menu at the drive-thru, and I couldn't.
Look
I
wrong,
was-
right?
It
Yeah.
was a sandwich made of regret. You might as well just eat your own regrets rather than.
Was it as bad as was it as bad as the black Whopper that they had last
Oh,
year?
Halloween. That was the
I
A1
gotta
one.
be about that. I gotta be
It-
about
Oh,
that.
about
Yeah.
that.
My
Black
poop
Whopper,
was green. My poop was green for days.
Are you serious?
I'm just sharing that.
Oh, that's nice. That's something we can't unhear.
As the kids say, TMI, dude.
I'm saying.
It was terrible.
Have you seen the new Grand Mac?
No, what's
Oh,
that? What is
The
that?
Big Mac with quarter pounder patty.
No, really?
Oh, I heard that was coming.
Yeah,
I heard that
really?
was coming.
Fine today. Yeah.
So
McDonald's is trying to do it
There's
too.
a Mac Junior.
they gotta step it up. They really have to.
Yeah.
McDonald's has changed their
Big
burgers
Mac.
so long.
They're gonna use
my
Five Guys burgers.
my heart attack.
Well, McDonald's wants to use. They're going to do it out west first, I think. But McDonald's wants to use Five Guys, the same meat that they use with Five Guys
Oh, really?
restaurant, and use those patties and make them kind of like make them fresh as opposed to just
Frozen.
freeze fried, frozen crap.
Yeah.
Because people are not going to McDonald's because it's so goddamn expensive. I could go to Five Guys and buy the same thing.
And a lot more flavor, a lot more juiciness.
Yeah,
out
like
of
a
it.
real hamburger as opposed to.
You could go to a diner and get a cheaper meal at
Right,
a diner.
right.
You know,
A burger.
and a good burger, a better burger.
Yeah,
than-
thicker, like nice, maybe even a handmade burger or something, whatever, just nice.
Right.
Like
Outprice yourself. So.
Burger King, even though their burgers are frozen too, like you get that flame broiled taste. It's nothing like that. Like
It still tastes better.
right, because they flame broil that stuff. They get it nice and greasy and good. And I like the flame broil.
I like the frame. I like that too, but the freshness of a Wendy's burger is still. I don't know.
I'm used
If
to
we're
it.
talking
Yeah.
straight up fast food, I gotta go with Sonic. I go to Sonic
yeah,
Burger. It's
they're
just like it's a diner burger and it gets to you really quick.
We don't got no
And
Sonic.
Well, and it's
we
not.
have,
They're out there.
we have one Sonic in our area, and I live probably about 20 minutes from it. And people I know come all the way from Pittsburgh to go to Sonic up here because there's only one.
Yeah, you drive up
We
and
had more.
Do
there
they-
is on the island. You probably because you live in Queens, right? You can just go out to
Yeah.
Nassau. They have one like in Nassau somewhere out there. Not too far away from you, but it's
So I gotta travel for it.
yeah.
I like it when they have their 50-cent corn dogs.
Oh, those good. Those
Load
good.
up.
Yeah. So
Oh,
basically
well,
diverted into
fast
fast food chat.
That food cast, all right.
Exactly.
I was talking with one of y'all, wasn't it? We were talking about doing a fast food podcast.
This is what it would be like. This is it. We just got a little preview. Exactly what it would be like. Actually, it was pretty good.
I consider myself quite the expert. I'm just saying, I consider myself an expert.
All right, getting back to The Walking Dead, after the lovely hashtag passage, Michonne's still riding around with the redhead. She pulls up to a crossroads, the redhead who's driving that is, and stops the car a distance away. And the car's pointed down. You can see that there's at least, I would say, 100 people down there with vehicles. And she says that I'm Negan, we're all Negan, and that Michonne, she still has a couple choices she can make here because if she wants to go through with this, it's not going to be good for her. She tells Michonne that there's a silencer in the glove box and that, you know what, you should just drive this car as far away as you can. Don't be tracked. Dump it into a lake. Just burn it, whatever. And Michonne actually listens to this girl. She somehow, you don't see it because it's kind of a faraway shot, but she shoots the redhead with a silenced gun and then takes the Jeep and drives it away. That was so strange. Like, it was
Yeah, it
so
was.
weird.
Why?
Well, it's not like I don't know.
She's had it. She's had enough.
Okay.
She's seen her man, Rick, who has been broken before, but not like this. And she sees despair happening amongst her people. To hell with this bitch. She needs to go.
Okay, all right. Well, she did. She drove away. She didn't confront the Savior. She didn't go after that group. She retreated carefully. Rick and Aaron arrive back in town and see that the Saviors are back. Rick is none too pleased and is hassled by the two Savior dicks at the gate. One of them tells him that Negan's at his house waiting for him. The other one wants to see what they have in the truck first, saying, "There's no rush, there's no rush. Let's see what you have in the truck," before they allow Rick and Negan to go. As they're unpacking, the blonde female Savior finds a note written by the boatman, and the main dick doesn't like it too much and starts to hassle Aaron about it hard. And Aaron tries to say, "Hey, look, it's we found it, but he couldn't get the words out. Like he was just like stumbling over. He couldn't even say anything." But they already decided at that point just to beat the crap out of Aaron, and they did. And Rick is forced to watch, and they beat him up pretty bad. Like he was in pretty rough shape after they were done with him. Meanwhile, Negan and Spencer for hire are sitting on the porch enjoying the scotch together. Negan remarks how much he likes his community with the air conditioning and the running water and these nice welcoming gifts, meaning the scotch. The only thing missing is a nice game of pool. And Spencer says, "Well, as a matter of fact, there is a pool table just in that garage over there across the street." And Negan just is loving this, saying that, Spencer, you're becoming my new best friend. And we don't see this, but the Saviors then bring the pool table. I guess Negan organizes a crew to bring the pool table outside into the middle of the street. Before Negan can break the pool balls, Spencer says that he wants to talk about Rick. Spencer says he understands what Negan is doing, that he's building a network, people must contribute for the greater good, etc., but that Rick's ego will get in the way of those plans, and that Rick doesn't get along well with others. And before Rick got there, his mother was in charge and was alive, and the town was better off.
My mommy.
My mommy, she was a senator, congresswoman. Negan is taking all this in as he's playing his game of pool, and says it's the saddest story he's ever heard. But not to worry, because you know what, Spencer, Rick is not in control anymore. I am. And what exactly are you proposing? He wants to know what Spencer wants to do. And Spencer says that he should be in charge, put there by Negan, and the town would be much better off. Negan says that Rick clearly hates his guts, meaning he hates Negan's guts, but he's out there gathering stuff for Negan right now to protect the people that live there. That Rick is swallowing his hate, getting stuff done, and that takes guts. He then points at Spencer and says, "And then there's you, the guy who sneaks over when Rick is gone, doesn't think he has any guts. Suddenly Negan takes his huge knife, and stabs Spencer in the stomach. Opens it all the way, so all of his guts just basically fall out onto the ground and into his hands.
That was a great effects gag.
That was good.
Loved it. I clapped.
And I have to say, despite everything, I have a little respect for Negan right there. You know?
Yeah, I guess in his own way, he was protecting Rick, I guess.
Yeah.
He has this thing for Rick. Like, he likes Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
Well, and he's respecting that Rick's got in line, as weird as that is, but
Right.
and you know, he's protecting his generals, so to
He's
speak.
also
I think
protecting
he-
us, the viewers, from another season
Yeah.
of freaking Spencer.
I think
Yes,
the turn,
yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's true. I think the turn with him is he hates cowardice, and when Spencer tried to flip it and go, yeah, get rid of, like he almost, he was trying to get him to just kill him, just get rid of Rick and put him in charge. And I think once he did that, that was when the switch went off in Negan, and he was like, this is not even fun anymore. I'm done with you. Like
Yeah.
he cannot stand. Like he understands aggression, he understands hate, he understands fear, and he understands, a sixth sense of honor in a way. But he does not compete. But that whole thing with just being that sneaky, swarmy, behind the back stuff, that he does not deal with well.
Yeah, it's like he can deal with anything but that. you know?
Right.
So Spencer falls to his knees, holding his intestines in his hand, and eventually keels over. Negan grabs Lucille at that point and says, "Hey, look, everyone," because the whole town gathered to watch this happen as they were playing a game of pool.
And started cheering.
included.
Oh, wait, no.
Yes.
Started cheering, yay, we all hate that douchebag.
and he grabs Lucille and says, "He did have guts after all," and asks if anyone else would like to finish the game of pool because he was winning.
Right.
After a few seconds of asking the townspeople, Rosita, who witnessed the whole thing, she had enough. She pulls the gun from the back of her pants and fires a single bullet, the one that was made for her. Cut to commercial. So we find out that Rosita had missed, but only by hitting Lucille instead of Negan's head. So I guess
Now-
the bat was in the right position at that moment to deflect the bullet.
Well, they are in Washington, and obviously Lucille's spirit was of a CIA officer, and and jumped in the way of her
They
leader.
took the bullet from the president, for the leader. Is that what
Yep.
happened? Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So Arat quickly takes Rosita to the ground with a knife to her throat, and Negan really starts freaking out at this point. Like he's beyond beside himself. Negan then
Lucille's been blemished.
well, that's
She's-
like pissing him off more than anything else. Not that someone tried to kill him. It's that exactly. He's pissed off Lucille.
Now,
That's
to
what-
me, it gives her character. I'm just, but,
Lucille's like a totem of his authority, and if to have it blemished or hit, like that from a group that's not supposed to have any weapons or ammunition left,
Right.
I mean, that's a serious, thumbing him in the nose to his authority. I mean, that's his totem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't expect it from her. I think that's what bothered him too. He didn't expect it. He didn't see it in her. So that really got to him. Like, wow, I missed this.
So he's freaking out. Then he finds the shell casing on the pavement, and he studies it carefully. And he can tell because of the crimp marks on it that it was a repack or a homemade bullet, and demands to know who produced it. Negan tells Arat to move the knife away from her throat and on her face, and says until she tells Negan who made the bullet, maybe and since she blemished Lucille, maybe she should be blemished in her face too. Rosita claims that she did it, she made the bullet, but Negan's not buying it. Negan then tells Arat to say, you know what? Shoot somebody. So quickly, Arat whips out her gun, does
Another one.
this little swivel around, and shoots Olivia on the porch, just quickly, boom, right in the face.
Come on.
I tell you, don't like
Oh.
overweight people. They don't like overweight people. In
All
the
she
show.
did was
Right
make lemonade.
She didn't even pause. She just knew automatically. If he tells me I can kill somebody, I got dibs on her.
She was waiting.
Almost like,
But see, that tied back to a couple
First
episodes.
he's number one, then he's number two. And
Because she was hassling Olivia. Remember when they first came to town? She
Yeah.
was hassling her back then, right? So
Yeah.
Jerry didn't like Olivia. That was already, yeah, you're right.
it's already done.
So then Rick shows up. He's carrying Aaron at this point. They're hobbling into the scene. Negan is thrilled to see. Like, I love when Rick shows up. I just freaking love this. And he goes, "Hey, Rick!" Like Negan loves seeing Rick. Like it's like this thing. He has this weird, like, I don't know. It's like this fascination with Rick, this respect for him, whatever you want to call it. But he has this big grin on his face. He goes, "Hey, Rick!" And he goes, "My voice is hoarse from yelling so much, but it's so good to see you." And he asks Rick for a thank you, and for showing how reasonable he's been, because he tells a story of how his son came to kill him and also killed two of his men in the process, but he brought him back safe and sound, and he fed him spaghetti. And Rick's face at this point is priceless. You see, he's going out of his mind right now hearing the story. And then he says how Spencer tried to make Negan kill Rick and put him in charge, so he took him out for him. And how Rosita just tried to kill him and damage Lucille. So he gave Rick one less mouth to feed, namely Olivia, and her mouth did some major damage, he said.
one last fat joke.
That's right, gotta get it in.
Right as she dies. Yeah.
And Rick says,
Fat lives matter.
Fat lives matter. And Rick says, "Your shit's waiting for you at the gate." He wants them to just go. And Negan will leave, but not before he finds out who made this bullet. So Tara tries to step in for some reason and say, "Oh, I did it." But we all know it wasn't her.
No.
And then suddenly Eugene steps in and says, no, it was me. And he starts to tell Negan how he did it. They took a little gunpowder and do this and funnel and whatever he said. And Negan's like, "I believe you. Yes, it's you." He then steps away for a second. And this is where I thought Eugene was a goner. I really did. He asks strength from Lucille. And then he basically just put Lucille down. Like he didn't swing
Yeah,
it.
me too. Me too.
I was like, "Oh, Eugene's done." But he tells Rick he's going to relieve Rick of his bullet maker. And they're going to leave town. On the way out, Negan leans over to Rick, tells him his kitchen has left a mess. I can sit to dinner. We pan up to see Rick in the street. Above Spencer for Hire's bloody remains. Spencer starts to turn, and Rick is forced to knife him in the head. I just love, he's just Uncle Negan. Like, he just comes to visit. Like, it's not like he's this evil character that has these mastermind plans. He just loves hanging out with these people in Alexandria. Like, it's so weird.
Well, it's almost like in prison. As my CO friends would tell me, there's always that guy in prison where when the guy comes in, his deal is to beat the big guy, and he beat him.
Right.
And there's a perverse kind of way. It's a feeling of power in a situation where you don't feel like you have power. And this world is kind of like a big prison because all these zombies. I mean, there's just no way around it. You're stuck in this world of zombies, and it's kind of like he runs the place like a prison in a way because they all it's kind of wild. And it's like the mighty survive, kind of. He runs it with fear and all the points and stuff. They do that in prison too, where you get
Right.
points for doing stuff.
Yep.
And then,
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say an excellent way to keep someone intimidated is to keep them off balance and get into their comfort zone.
Mhm.
So that whole bit of him like sitting with Carl and having dinner and like shaving in Rick's sink and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same. I mean, that's just more intimidation tactics. It's like classic kind of, kind of tactics. So
And then I'll do something nice, and you hate him for it.
Right. Like, he should have killed Carl for all intents and purposes. Carl should be dead in
There's
the
no way
ground.
around it. Yeah.
And he took him
Yeah.
under his wing. He didn't harm him. He actually fed him a meal. He's teaching him some lessons in his twisted type of way. And, he's like being Uncle Negan to this kid. And yeah, he throws everyone for a loop. It really does. Do you guys watch the show with your girls, like with your wives or significant others or anything? Like, I don't know. Because I watch it with mine sometimes. And I guess this is a lot of women feel this way. She thinks he's sexy, first of all. Like she likes
that's a
Negan
given.
more than she likes
Yes.
Rick at this point.
Yes.
You know, she goes, he's awesome. He's awesome. I love him.
Well,
He's so cool.
Daryl and Negan. Is Daryl and Negan.
She likes Negan better than Daryl now. Daryl likes, look at him. He's like, you know, and she doesn't like him in real life either. Like he sounds totally different as character. You know,
Oh,
she's
totally
like,
does,
right?
totally
He sounds so like Hollywood versus like hillbilly boy. But I think a lot of women find this guy very sexy, like as a character.
Well, because he has that, because Negan has that kind of comfortable charisma and confidence. Like there's just
Right.
no fear. He walks
Well,
around like
He's a bad
owns-
boy.
Oh, ultimately,
But it's
of course
not-
he is, right?
women
Yeah.
love
It's a bad boy,
boys.
but it's not so like it's not just that. Like you could be a bad boy and still not be liked. It's more than that. It's like he
Yeah.
can just come in, and he's not always evil. Like he doesn't come in going being
Yeah,
evil and
well-
mean. He could be really sweet, like to people. Like he could be really nice
In his
and
own
safe
way, right.
In
He-
his own way.
yeah.
And if he,
But he's a bad boy with a harem of ladies who hate him, but are still his harem of ladies. I'm
Yes.
just saying.
yeah, because he does that. Like he really, all of that stuff is present. Like all the little point systems where the COs. It's funny because these are grown men. Like it's funny because one time a friend of mine was saying that there was this big tall dude. It was like if you saw him outside, like he was had to be in like his 50s, late 50s, and when he walked into his cell and he asked him a question and he was supposed to check the cell. This was like early on when he started working there. And this grown man that he could put a suit on him, he'd look regal and all that. Like he'd look like the dude from the Kingdom, right?
Ezekiel.
This man, without even hesitation, when he saw this guard, put his head down, took his pants down because they had to check him. They thought he had contraband. There was a part of him, even though he knew the dude hated him for it, but it was just that he'd been in the system so long. And he's been,
He's
you know, like
institutionalized.
he's fought it as
Yeah.
long as he could. He was a person that fought it, but now he's been beaten. He's been in solitary. He's gone through the whole thing.
Wow.
He doesn't even fight anymore.
Like,
And it was
like
almost
Brooks
like,
in Shawshank, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And it's like he knew he knew he hated the CO for doing this to him. The CO hated himself because he had to do it, and he resented this man who didn't even fight him. Like he almost wanted him to be like, I wish he was defined a little bit because I lost like any respect I've had for this man. I don't even see him as a man anymore.
Wow. Yeah.
Because of that.
Dude,
Like when you
Daryl-
break like that, like that's kind of how Negan is doing these people. That's kind of how he
Mhm.
likes to do. He wants them to be broken like this.
Man, I will tell you, I worked for 3 years in several prisons, running a work program, and with what we did with that work program and with running a phone center and all that, a lot of ours had been on good behavior for a long time, so they'd earned a lot of points. So I lost more guys they were going to minimum, which meant they would be getting out soon, or more than anything else. But I would watch. There would be so many of them that would go and they would instantly do something that would get them thrown in the hole. They lose points, and then they wouldn't end up going to minimum because they were so scared to have to be that close to going back to the outside. So that's kind of what he's done to these communities, and he's trying to do to Alexandria now. But unfortunately, he poked the bear a little too much, and it looks like they're about to rise up.
Yes. So after commercial, Rick is sitting in the jail cell that Morgan built. It looks actually pretty sturdy. Like I don't think I've ever seen it completed, but he used a lot of cinder blocks that were laying around the community, and he welded like these bars, and it's a pretty proper jail cell.
A lot of foreshadowing. Don't
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, obviously, and he's in there, kind of just on the floor, and Michonne comes to chat with him, and they kiss for a little bit. And Michonne explains that she found what she was looking for. She now realizes that Negan's group is way too large. That look, whatever we decide to do, I want to do it together. I'm not going to do anything on my own. I thought I was going to, but I'm not going to. We have to stay together. We've both of us should be dead. She said, like so many times over, and all the stuff they've been through. It's got to mean something. And she's makes a nice little speech here. She wants to stay with Rick. If they're going to fight, they got to do it together. And they're the ones. She even says too. They're the ones that get things done. They're the ones who live. They have to fight. Judith, Carl, Alexandria, the Hilltop. Well, we can find a way to beat these guys. Rick admits at this point he knows that now. He goes, I
She
know.
repeated his speech. Remember the crazy speech he did when they got to Alexandria, where we don't die.
Right. She goes, we're the ones who live. We have to fight. She basically repeated what he was saying before she knocked him out. Yeah.
And she disagreed with him. Then it's interesting how we go back
Full circle.
A different thought process now on that on that Rick that said that. Yeah.
Well, it's funny if you remember back to even the first episode of the season, the second one, whatever it was, when she grabs that rifle from the fireplace, she looks up at the mantle where she used to hang her samurai sword. Like she put her sword away for a while, and then she realized that she can't anymore. She has to carry that thing. Like there's no way that she can't be a fighter. And she looks at that little mantle. She gave it a little look before she grabbed that rifle. But Rick admits that he knows that now. He agrees with her, and Michonne they kiss and smile. It's nice. So it was a good little scene there. As kind of a bookend, back at the Hilltop, we see Maggie again wearing Glenn's hat in the same position, kind of crouched down at the grave, and then she ascends to the lookout tower, and she gasps as she sees Rick and gang approach. Rick gives Maggie a big hug, and Rick admits that she was right, that he should listen to her, that he should have gotten ready to fight from the start. Rick wasn't ready then, he says, but now he's ready. Then Jesus and Daryl appear from around the corner, and Daryl gives Rick the biggest hug. Like he was ready to start crying almost. I think he was crying actually, and they just hug it out like it was like they're reunited. The two brothers are back together again.
Dog food to make you emotional, man.
He was emotional. I mean, you don't see Daryl like that, but he was getting like and
Right.
yeah, just gave a huge hug. He then hands. This is the best part. He hands back Rick's python. to
It's
him.
Excalibur.
Yeah, right. It really is. It really is. And at that point, it seemed to change everything because they pan to every single one of the main cast. They actually take a one shot of every one of the main cast, including Jesus. So I guess he's part of the core group now, right? This is it. He's earned his way into that core group. And they head into the house at the Hilltop together. They all walk in with Rick leading the way. Like, all right, they got the mojo back. Rick is back. That's the end of the episode. But there's a little bit of a after the credit scene where the creepy boots guy is using binoculars to spy on Alexandria.
Right.
And he's like staring at Father Gabe, who's on lookout for a while. Then he jumps out of the tree and just kind of walks off. So we don't know who this guy is, but he apparently spotted Rick earlier, and then he followed him back to Alexandria. So he knows where Alexandria is now, whoever this guy is.
I still think it's Dwight. If it's not Dwight, then it's whoever left that note in that.
Right.
In
And
that place.
I think it's Dwight in both cases, the note and that.
You might be right.
The other thing, though, that says to me that might not be him, as far as the boots guy, is why would he have to stealthily do that when he could just join the Negan's group and go in there and be amongst them and witness what's going on?
He knows where Alexandria is, though. So Dwight already knows where it is. So I think this is somebody else. I think this is maybe introduction of a new character.
Maybe the guy that left that note then.
No. I think this could be the Whisperers they're talking about. Like,
Maybe. Yeah, you're right.
Two separate things. I think without a doubt, Dwight is who did the note. Dwight, or the possibility maybe his wife, but I think it's Dwight. The note, but this I don't know. I think it's Dwight, but at the same time, why would he stealthily sneak up? I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see who this is. I mean, and the reason I say it, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but they've already hinted, they meaning the producers, that the Whisperers are coming. So it's like, if we're saying it, if you haven't read the comic book, you don't know who these people are, so it's fine. But I think it could be the next villain, like the next set of villains.
I still think that Triple P key card that was a nod, a foreshadow, much like the bat to Glenn in season 4, whenever it was they were at Terminus, foreshadowing what happened to him. I think that's a little clue to us about the Whisperers, the Triple P.
Right. Like we knew about the wolves before they really became a threat for a while, right? So it's like they're showing you what's out there next. Like so once Rick's done with Negan in whatever fashion that ends up, we've got some other people spying on this community now. So another threat out there. Maybe. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But so before we get to our Buster ratings, can we please have a word from our sponsor? Daryl, would you do the honors, please?
Yes, since we are deep into the holiday season, and you might have if you are a fan of comics or you have someone in your life who is a comic fan or they might want to dip their toe in the comics, you can go to DCBS and order any comic that they might want, whether it's Walking Dead or maybe some of the Marvel characters that they've seen in the Marvel movies or from the DC movies, or try anything. They have so many indies that you can check out as well. All of it's a discount.
Do
prices.
they carry Action Lab?
And they carry Action Lab. And if you want to get into the figure stuff, you want characters that are figures for your desk or for your man cave or woman cave or whatever you want to decorate your house with. They have figures. They have T-shirts. They have all types of different posters and things that you might want to get into, and they will ship it straight to you. You can have it. You can do subscriptions of comics if you want to get a month for someone. You can get gift certificates as well. You can get trades at InStock Trades, which is their sister site.
And if you spend $50 or more,
free shipping.
Free shipping.
That's right. So definitely check it out. It's a good, definitely a good business. It's a great sponsor. The people that run it, their family. I know them. I've met them. They do great customer service. If you have any questions or any issues, you email them and they get back to you immediately. So I definitely think if you want to dip into any of this into the comic world, I think you should definitely give the site a try.
Excellent. They make it possible for us to bring you the Walking Dead TV podcast throughout the whole year. So thank you for shopping with them. And yes, get your last minute gifts in now. So let's get to our Buster ratings, starting with you, Richard.
Well, like I said at the top of the show, I really liked what they did with this episode. I really liked how it summed up and made it very nice and neat how the first half of the season just lined up. Made me appreciate some things a little bit more than I did when they aired earlier in the season. But overall, a lot that I liked about this episode. Sad to see Olivia go. Really ecstatic to see Spencer go, except for we won't be hearing him refer to as Spencer for hire every week like we have. So that was
kind of the theme song at the end. I'm sorry I had to do that.
Yes.
It's a great show. I mean, it's like
Spencer.
Remember Hawk, right? Avery Brooks. Yeah.
I wish you could have had somebody walk in there and just say that as a gut.
Could you imagine Avery Brooks doing like a cameo, right? Spencer.
Just a Spencer.
I love that show.
But I mean, with everything, I mean, I was thinking 4, but I'm thinking I'm gonna give it a 4.25. Busters. I really liked it.
Excellent, Daryl.
It would have gotten a 3.5 for me or 4, but there's just a little couple things that bug me. One thing is, stop telling me major cast members are going to die and then you kill side characters. Stop. It's annoying. Don't do it. It's annoying. You come to expect it like something really vital and heartbreaking is going to happen, and you just look and go, oh. Even though Spencer, Olivia, not a major cast member, even though I hated that she was killed, especially because of other people. The other thing that bugged me was how it just was convenient that everything happened around the same time. Like her seeing, when Alden went AWOL, it just all happened around the same.
Well, it's to push the story for.
Of course it is, but
it's a zombie show. So suspend some disbelief there.
Are you mansplaining my rating? Can I just get my rating already?
And also, don't forget to calculate the spaghetti into your rating. Just saying.
It still wasn't homemade though, so it doesn't get extra points. If it was homemade, it'd be different.
It was Negan made.
Mrs. Niedermeyer wanted that pasta maker. She never got it. Okay?
Anyway, that was kind of, it irked me a little bit. It was a little too convenient for me that it all happened around the same time, and I just really wish that he smacked up Carl just one time because he got people killed as well. Like Spencer dying, Olivia dying. It's not just on Rosita, but it's on Carl too, because he wouldn't even have been there if it wasn't for Carl.
Or not that day. Like what happened
not that day. Right. It happened that day.
Yeah.
So it was definitely on him, and I think I just wish that Rick had called him on it, and instead of just I don't want Carl to think it was all right that this happened the way it happened.
He might still call him on it.
I hope he does, and I hope both of them, both those characters, have to deal with what they did, because Daryl feels the guilt of what he did when he jumped up, and I can understand when he did it. Like it was different. When he jumped up and did that, and even though what happened to Glenn happened to Glenn.
His was impulsive.
It was impulsive, but for them to do what he did,
premeditated intent.
Right. It was stupid. It was premeditated and dumb, because he's already shown that other people get punished when you do things like that. Like if you're gonna shoot, don't miss. If you're gonna go to kill him, don't miss or kill yourself. But don't but don't put the group. You all think about the group. You always think about the group. Don't get the group in put the group in danger.
And Rosita too. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Both
Rosita though. Rosita doesn't seem like she's the type that's had the experience that she should know. Don't do it when you're angry. Wait till you can concentrate and be focused. And I get doing things impulsively, but she was spending a lot of time contemplating what she was going to do in the church and everything else. And
man, listen, if I was Daryl, not Daryl. If I was Rick, I'd have grabbed her. I'm sorry, I would have did it, not to hurt her, but I would have grabbed her and walked her up to Olivia's body, and I'd let her look at that. I would tell her, look at that body.
Look at that. Look at what you did.
Think about what you do from now on, from this point on, because we're gonna have a war now. This is gonna be real. This is gonna get real. But think about from this point on. Think about what you do before you do it, because this is what can happen. This gets people killed. When we mess up, people get killed.
This is the Boston Massacre, if you will. This is to
set it off. Yeah.
To set it off. The Tea Party or the Massacre.
Yeah. You're right. This is the thing that woke him up. to do what he did. But anyway, I still enjoyed it, and it got to me emotionally because of that. It had to work that I like the characters for me to be that angry. So I still give it a 3. It wasn't like I didn't like it at all. There was just a couple of things that bothered me, but overall, I thought it was a good season. Would you shut up with the spaghetti and mansplaining, please? But it gets this 3 out of 5.
This is what happens when you do like 4 podcasts a week together, right? This is what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I already had one divorce. God dang it.
Jim, how about you?
I was going to give it a 3 out of 5 until Spencer was killed, and I added another 0.5, so 3.5 for me. It seems like they're moving a lot of pieces on the board, bringing a lot of things together, to bear against Negan. You got Maggie in the Hilltop, and Carol and Morgan over in the Kingdom, and they're all going to kind of get the Walking Dead version of the Avengers together. It seems like, and it seems like a cool climax to work toward. We're just starting to see that now, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah, 3.5 for me. Aaron Newworth, who's normally on the show, you may have heard of him. He's the guy who wears the money hat from Marvel.
Right,
we always joke about, right? The tycoon. He writes every week for the youngfolks.com a in-depth review of The Walking Dead. You might want to check that out if you want to go a little more in depth on the episode, and that is linkable from our Facebook group. So by all means do that. But he was unable to join us tonight due to prior engagement playing disc golf.
Tycoon stuff, yeah.
Taking meetings.
His people are calling other people's people, right? Yes. Okay.
Very true.
He's part of Robert Morris now, so yeah. Heart Still Beating is photo shoots, absolutely. PR junket tours, that kind of thing. Heart Still Beating is a 3.5 out of 5 busters. I can't say I was all that surprised that this was just another mediocre episode, given how the season has been going so far. It's not bad, but once again felt bloated without much reason. It was nice to check in with the various characters since everyone is spread out, but I wish I felt more for some of these, like Maggie and Michonne. It was satisfying to see Daryl escape Rick, and Aaron's boat adventure was tense enough. It was satisfying to see Daryl escape, and Rick and Aaron's boat adventure was tense enough too. This weekend, Negan felt kind of mixed. On one hand, Negan's clean-shaven face was much more welcome, as the character was used property and his shtick didn't get old for me. On the other hand, Spencer's such a useless character that there was no real surprise in seeing him die, and I felt genuinely bad for Olivia, since all she did was suffer fat jokes and then get shot in the face. Damn it. At least the sappy ending seems to signify we'll be moving forward in the second half of the season. Here's to seeing the Savior plotline becoming more enjoyable in February.
Excellent. I'll give it a solid 4. I mean, for a mid-season finale, at least it had something more. It wasn't anticlimactic like we had last year. It moved the story to a point which I'm feeling much better about. I like seeing Rick with his mojo back at the very end, getting the big hug with Daryl and reuniting with the group. I really thought they were going to spread this story where they're all spread apart in 5 different groups for much longer. I'm glad they kind of consolidated the storyline and brought it together, and now they're going to form the War Council, so to speak, and really just take Negan and try to take him down. So I'm pleased with where it ended up. 90 minutes. It didn't seem like an extra long episode. Meaning the other 90-minute one seemed like they just jammed an extra commercial. This one felt like it had room to breathe, and it did kind of need to be 90 minutes. So I'm kind of glad it was. Again, it's just a decent episode. It was good. I'm just looking forward to The Walking Dead getting back to their mojo, getting back to, all right, we've seen this group beaten down. We've seen Rick beaten down. We've seen it. We've seen 8 episodes of it already. Enough. Like, what makes this show work is our group kicking butt in this world. Like, at least for me, anyway. I don't know what the rest of they're trying to experiment and do different things. I get it. And the Negan character obviously is resonating very well, especially with the females, I think, and probably with a lot of other people. But, it's cool to introduce him. But the show works best when our group is put against really crazy odds. They stick together. They fight as a team. That's what kind of makes it work for me. So it seems like we're heading back in that direction. I'm pleased with that. 4.0 is my final Buster rating for 2016. But who cares what we think? We have an amazing Facebook group. Just go to facebook.com, do a search for The Walking Dead TV, hit the little join button. We'll get you in, and you can leave your very own Buster ratings for each and every Walking Dead episode, or Toby ratings for Fear the Walking Dead episode that you wish. We have over 810 members, and it is just a great group. We have some really good members that put some interesting posts up there, and it's very entertaining. So, Jim, would you do the honors of reading our lovely Facebook group, what they had to say about this week's episode?
I want to shout out Mike Jones, first of all, because I've never been in a meme before, but he memed me this week.
That was your first meme? Are you serious?
Well, it's my name and whatever. It said, Jim D said, I got a recipe for you.
That was cool.
It's a picture of Negan in the kitchen, so, I was thinking more of like a Food Network thing, cooking with Negan and Lucille,
You can see that, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you could do a different thing from Rick's kitchen every week.
Will Lucille have a little apron on her, too, like a little mini one? Like a little...
You have to.
Okay,
Sure.
right, okay.
But yes, as Greg mentioned, Walking Dead TV podcast is the Book of Face location, and we got some great Buster readings from our listeners. Jeray Irvin gets firsties this week with 5 Spencer for Hire guys out of 5.
That's right.
A++ episode. Is it February yet? Somebody didn't like Spencer, huh?
No, she even put a picture up like a couple episodes ago, like a useless character or something, and yeah.
It's not like we're in disagreement on that.
No.
Brent Jones, 4.5 Hilltop Hideouts out of 5. Spaghetti Tuesdays at Alexandria sure are more eventful than those boring ones at the prison. I thought I was going to have to stage my one-man Ryan. Thankfully, Rosita survived her 1 in a million miss. Carol needs to snap out of it. Poor Eugene. Our Georgia crew's fairly weak. I mean, Carl is the 3rd best male left. I like Aaron, but he's no warrior. So, now my computer's okay. Sorry. Seth Tillman, 5 peanut butter and Daryl's out of 5. I know some of the females listening to the show would like that. Some of the men too, actually. The gang is back. Spencer's leaking into street. Poor Olivia's made her last glass of lemonade, and Daryl has learned a few batting tips from Negan. But the reunion at the end has me pumped for a second half, and I did see a border bomb. Oh, and did I see a border bomb on Fear the Walking Dead #passage brought to you by Taco Bell Live Moss.
Yes, you did.
Wow, awesome. Janet Broom, 4.75, proof that Spencer actually does have guts. I don't think I would call that episode perfect, but I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Spencer might be my favorite death yet. Nicholas was close, but since his death was part of the whole dumpster episode, it wasn't as satisfying.
Hell yeah.
Ian's comment about Sasha not being alone seemed like she was trying to maybe tell her about more allies that she tried a couple of times to say, but it kept getting interrupted. Well, that could be. I wonder if her parents could have been like Dwight and his wife and her sister and fled from the Saviors, so she knows there are more people among the Saviors who don't like Negan, or it could be a different group entirely. Good theory there. Mandy Dean, 4.5 out of 5. Pass me a roll. I finally feel like we're moving forward again. Am I the only one simply delighted to see Negan making spaghetti and wearing an apron? Loved everything about the kitchen scene. I knew Spencer was going to get it. We all know Negan likes his enemies to have some balls about them.
Not meatballs.
Not meatballs. David Bew the third, 4.5. These boots are made for walking creepily through the woods at the 5.0 lake. I really love the various group stories being told in the interchanging format with them meeting up at the end, even if all their smiles are rather cheesy. Wife seemed to hope for something in specific scene. And we have a tag here from his wife. Please off the mullet.
Oh, come on. Eugene's a man. Yeah, he's okay.
Cries so much. My 3-year-old son doesn't cry that much. Can't wait till February 12th. Katie Levesque, 4.75 pasta making classes with Negan. Totally love this episode. Ridiculously entertaining fun making dinner with Negan in the kitchen scenes. Great moments between Michonne and Rick in the jail cell when she recites back to him his speech the day she knocked him out with her sword in Alexandria. My dad started tearing up when Maggie and Rick and then Daryl and Rick reunited. It feels so good.
It did.
Feels so good.
That's it.
Rick has got his Python back. Yahoo! Love the escape from Savior Traz. No more easy street for Daryl. Hopefully for none of us. Very intrigued as to who the creeper in the boots is. Watching from afar and spying on our Alexandra peeps. So excited to see the next half in February. Mike Jones, as I mentioned before, with the meme 4 gutless bull sharks out of 5. Thankfully, the Alexandria deaths were people that needed to go. Yay, Spencer. Things that hurted more for me. No Simon, no Dwight, no Ezekiel. Shouldn't we have really seen them? Loved Eugene overacting in the background during the pool sequence. Who is stalking the group? Susan Monk, 3.75 homemade bullets out of 5. Someone forgot to edit that first half hour. We didn't need to see all the different groups planning revolt against Negan. The pace picked up a lot starting at the pool table scene. Did get dusty while everyone else was watching the reunion. That was awesome. Yeah, I got something in our eyes. Michelle had Peoples, 4.5, who served biscuits and spaghetti. Who serves biscuits and spaghetti? Out of 5. I agree. Nice crusty bread with that. The Italian in me was outraged about biscuits and spaghetti. If Negan was like, here we go, she agrees. If Negan was going to give cooking lessons, he could have taught Carl how to make proper Italian bread.
See, there you go. Right. That's it.
This is the one after my own heart. Big bonus. Judith giving Negan the stink eye while he shaved. I knew Spencer was going down, but was still shocked by the brutality of it. While I fully understand Rosita's rage, she really needs to study up on the law of unintended consequences. Olivia's death was tragic. My heart soars every time I see Rick and Michonne together. The savior woman who would rather die than disappoint Negan. I found that very sad. It really is a cult with the saviors. Not quite buying into Carol's change of heart. But anytime Melissa McBride and Letty James are on screen, I'm happy. I agree with you there as well. Overall, great episode and great news season finale. Happy holidays to you and your families. And many thanks for the awesome podcast.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you. Very nice. Tara Kawar, I'm going to go 4.75 pasta ala Negan out of 5. Seeing Chef Negan enjoying the sweet life of Alexandra was really entertaining to watch. It's probably just me, but I want to see these 3 saviors in particular to suffer a gruesome death at the hands of Rick. The only down of the episode is Carol's storyline. We're pushing everyone away. It's getting tiresome. Hope nothing bad happens to Eugene. Glad to see Spencer really did have guts, and glad to see Daryl return the Python to Rick. Anyone else get a Reservoir Dogs vibe at the end? Great end to the first half of the season.
Like the way they're walking towards the house. Is that what you mean, Derek? Yeah, I loved it though. It was perfect. It's like they're back.
It'd be great if something exploded behind them and none of them looked back. That's always a good shot. Johnny Stower, 5 out of damn. I went and got a glass of milk after that Daryl peanut butter scene out of 5. Finally, this is how the episode should be, bouncing around and not getting stale. People might be safe after all. Who the hell is watching Rick at the Pond at the end? Comic book readers might think of a character already introduced, so I have no idea. WTF, Daryl there with Maggie and no talk or interaction about him punching Negan and Glenn getting the bat. Boo. Also, Rick Gunn was taken when they got lined up when they meet Negan. I think it was you guys asking where his gun went.
I asked the question, so thank you, Johnny, for answering. I'm like, when did it get handed over to Negan's group? And I forgot when they were kneeling down in the woods. That's when he lost it. So thank you for reminding me of that.
Solid episode. I can't wait to start the second half now. Off to drink champagne and eat Taco Bell and contemplate Fear the Walking Dead mini episode. Thumbs up emoji, Taco emergency. And P.S. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys in the Facebook group.
Same to you.
Well, you as well.
Nicholas Masillo, 5 housewarming gifts out of 5. We're moving forward. Episode started a little slow, but picked up in the second half. Daryl breaking free was satisfying. The cooking scene with Negan was hilarious. Happy to see Olivia and Spencer go, and anyone who didn't tear up during the last scene is a liar. Solid episode. Can't wait for the second half. Against the grain. Ian Roswell, welcome to PP Pan City. Next stop, mediocre mid-season finish. I'll give it 3. Can't be arsed to write something funny out of 5. It didn't seem to offer anything worth coming back for, although I will. Let's just hope second half of the season will deliver. Sorry for downer on everyone else's review. Tom Bono, all right, 4 feel good and make Alexandria great again out of 5. That's Maggie's campaign slogan, right? No big loss with Spencer and Olivia. One will tear a fest up with a gun stash at the matriarchal group. That's a good point. Hezron Mack, how many of the main Alexandrians left? Rick and crew were partly responsible for the deaths of half the population. 3, let's hope the ass is dragging out. I'm sorry. 3, let's try again. Take 2. 3, let's hope the ass dragging is over out of 5. I figure with all the extended episodes, we got about 9 regular episodes in terms of time. The pacing was so slow. They really dragged out the season. If you sat and wrote all the plot points, there really wasn't major stuff that happened. Negan took up way too much screen time. Robin Cook, 4.5, suddenly discovered guts out of 5. It was a great wrap up to the first half of the season. Really looking forward to the second half. We finally get to see our heroes kick ass. Merry Christmas to the Walking Dead podcast crew and the guys and girls. Provide the comments in the Facebook group. Catch you in the new year. You too, Rob. Thanks.
Yeah.
Richard Chopper, Cherry Charrington, 4.75. Spencer has lost his guts, but Rick has finally found his out of 5. I really enjoyed the last 20 minutes, and yes, Rick has been reunited with his gun, and Daryl is finally back with the crew. Can't wait to February now. P.S. Just want to wish you guys to do the podcast a very Merry Christmas from the side of the pond. Thanks again for a great podcast all year and all the hard work that goes into it. I love listening to it. Looking forward to hearing you all again next year.
And all the listeners look forward to hearing Jim Dietz say Richard Chopper, Cherry Charrington. So thank you for letting him do that every week, Richard.
Katie Levesque loves Richard's reviews, so there you go. It's just a love fest here on Facebook. And Seth Thomas says ditto, so it could be to any of those things. It's just ditto, that's all. Ditto. So just a blanket ditto on everything I've said so far.
Hey, this is tied for the best Facebook group out there on Facebook, so. With DDTV, you know.
Oh, wow. That's pretty stiff competition. Yeah. Andrew Park, 4, a bird in the hand is worth 2 punches in the face, etc. Out of 5. Mid-finger salute drawing out of 5. I found this a very satisfying episode. Enjoyed all the strands being tied together. I'm still amazed that Alexandria is still looking like a show home village. All the better when Rick and the crew open up a can of AOK whoop ass the next half of the season. Merry Christmas to all the podcast crew and all the other listeners and Facebookers. 16 continuous weeks of zombie-related fun. I'm going to miss you, but we'll see you in February.
We'll take a little break and we'll be back. We'll miss you too.
We'll be back again someday, Andrew, to talk about zombie again.
Oh, yes.
Adam Fatah, I will give this episode 3.5 out of 5 T-Dogs. T-Dog, let's pour one out. I've run out of patience with Negan. Why Negan didn't kill Rosalie, Tara, or Eugene in relation to the assassination attempt. I guess the showrunner felt Spencer deserved a major death. I hope the second half of season 7 will pick up the pace of the show will drown in mediocrity. Sarah and Howard, I give it 4 out of 5 glasses of lemonade for finally pushing the show into some momentum for the second half of the season. The show could have easily made it to the 1 hour mark with better editing. Some of it felt like really extraneous filler. So glad Daryl's finally free and Rick has his Python back. Yeah. The badass gang is getting back together at last. Robert Nigro, 4 leaky basketballs out of 5. Enjoyed this episode much more than several lately. Negan still has a bit more of his Andrew Dice Clay imitation to work out of his system. Hey, Dickory talk. He's fascinating when he seems the most rational, reasonable, and friendly. You can't help but want to like it, but when, you know you shouldn't. Hated that Aaron got his beating and Olivia died. Happy that Spencer was gone and not surprised that Negan hauled off Eugene. Would it have made Negan's rage all the more convincing, and could he have had an Alexander make him a new Lucille, then test it out on Rosita's head or something? Do you think Lucille is ruined, or?
No. He'll repair her. She's got more than one life, I think.
It's just a blemish. It's just a mark. It gives her character.
In Tim's 5, Takashi's Castles out of 5. Spencer for hire, return to form. You don't need cliffhangers to be excited about the second half of the season.
Wow, so I'm glad we recorded a little bit late because everyone got a chance to give give their Buster ratings for this final episode of 2016. So thanks, Jim, as always, for reading those. We definitely appreciate it, and it wouldn't be the same without you doing it. That's for sure.
Well, thanks, and the Facebook group, like I said, the Walking Dead TV podcast, and Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Solstice, and Festivus.
Don't forget Festivus, right?
Don't forget
That's right.
Festivus.
I said Festivus.
Okay, get your polls ready and your
to all
grades.
of our listeners.
That's it. So, any final thoughts about this episode? We got a little bit of, I guess, casting news that got debuted in the last 24 hours. We can touch upon in just a second, but any final thoughts? Like we wrapped up.
I think I've wrapped up the way it should. I mean, we're at the point where people want it to be, so that when they come back, I'm very curious to see how the ratings will be now that we know we're going to the war now. Like, I wonder if it'll bring some people back.
I hope so.
I think my formula is what makes the show great. And like I said, when they're winning, when our group is actually beating this world. And I also think the show was better when the zombies were more of like a threat. Like they're not even a threat anymore. They're not even afraid of these things anymore. Like they're just out there. Like it's a show about zombies, but not really anymore. And they're barely even a threat to any of these people that have survived. And I guess I can get that because it's like, well, they survived this long. They're survivors. They know how to handle these things. But maybe they should be a little bit more of a threat than they used to be. Maybe, and just some more butt kicking. That's all. Just from our group. So hopefully they'll incorporate that to the second half of the season. But who knows? So some casting news. Walking Dead star Sonequa Martin Green is cast as the Star Trek Discovery, the new Star Trek series on CBS, as a lead role. So there's a lot of news about this going around, and they were very careful in this press release to say that she will still be a part of The Walking Dead, that the shooting schedules don't overlap. Daryl, you seem to disagree with that, but I don't know. I mean, it's only 10 episode order for Star Trek Discovery, right? So
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if it doesn't happen and she's not off the show, I'd be great with that. I hope that she can still be on both shows, but I don't know. Sometimes shows just want to play it safe and they just write the character out.
It's been funny, like Daryl and I and Donnie on Nothing's On have been following like the progress on this new Star Trek show for months now, and it has been so troubled. Like it was supposed to be the launcher for that CBS All Access.
Yes.
Then then Brian Fuller, who was the showrunner, left.
Right.
And they had no casting. They had some production design stuff done, and now they finally have started casting with Michelle Yeoh and Doug Jones and Anthony Rapp and now Sonequa Martin Green. It just seems like this has been such a troubled production for so long that I'm wondering what the end product is going to end up being like.
Well, wasn't it supposed to start airing in January? But that's
yeah,
obviously
like I said,
Yeah,
when they kicked off that All Access, it was supposed to be launched with the new Star Trek show.
but they weren't ready. They didn't have a cast. They didn't have a script. They didn't have anything. They were way behind. And
They did nothing. So
Even though I saw some of the people at the San Diego at the time, I didn't know why they were there, but now I do. They have to be on the cast, so I don't know if they didn't. I don't know. I still I think it's good that they did push it back and not try to push it anyway.
right.
But it's funny because they did this with Chris with Fear the Walking Dead, where they cast someone. He got a job. They cast him on another show, even though he was only in it. He was only on that show for like 4 episodes, and yet his character's killed off. So I don't know. Like even though it's 10 episodes, she's the main lead of the show. And even when someone else is cast at other shows for The Walking Dead, when they did it with the guy that was Everybody Hates Chris, what was his name?
Yeah, him. Right.
When he died, like he was on a show. Boom, he's gone. Like as soon as they cast him, it's like I don't care when they shoot it, whenever they usually just write them off. When it's this type of show, it's not a type of show where you can just have them get pregnant or go off somewhere and then come back.
But
It's a zombie show.
That Heath is going to be the lead character in the new 24 series, right? He's
Right,
not dead
he
yet.
is,
So
yeah.
I mean, he's out and about. He's not with us anymore. He's kind of out there, but he's not dead. in The
Tyler
Walking Dead. Yeah.
James Williams is the actor's name.
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Dre, right?
Yeah, and that's another one I think it has a shorter season. It's a mid-season replacement too.
What, the
So
24?
they're not sure about it. They're relaunching 24, so that's like a mid-season replacement type show. I
Gotcha.
don't even know when he shot it. Like who knows even when they shot that show?
And they're relaunching it without Kiefer Sutherland because he's
Right, it had
not
nothing to do with
designated survivor. No.
Right, it's true, yeah, ABC. What is it? So this show, Star Trek Discovery, is only a 10 episode order. It's going to be on CBS All Access, which is going to be in May. They're probably going to film it now, and they're done shooting The Walking Dead right now. Like, they've already wrapped up episode 16. So she theoretically could film 10 episodes of Star Trek and not really interfere with with The Walking Dead. It's possible.
So it can happen. It can happen. I'm just going by prior history. They usually like to just kill them off.
And Sasha's a character that's not always needed in every episode, though,
Right.
too.
They can write around 2 or
None of
3
them
episodes, yeah.
None of the characters that were killed off when they got new shows
Right.
were vital characters to the franchise. But I think sometimes when writers are like, we don't know what's going to be a hit. We don't want to be held hostage in any way to what the actor can do and what they can't do. We would rather just have them be written off than to keep them, unless they're like a lead or something. But it's not that type of thing. So I don't know. Usually with TV, they just do it. They just write you off when it's this type of show. Like it's supposed to be comedy or something like that.
Well, Norman Reedus, can like do The Walking Dead and do that travel show and be in movies. They're able to.
But he's Daryl, and he's
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to kill him off.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like she's not the like a lead. I like her on the show, but they don't give her enough to be a lead. Like they don't write her like she's a lead character. Is what I mean. Maggie is going to take the forefront.
Right.
Moving forward, and I can see them killing off Sasha to push her even more to taking that leadership role.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, maybe by the end of the season, or maybe the beginning of next season. Who knows? I mean, Star Trek may not be picked up. I mean, if it's as troubled as we say it is, it could be a 10-episode standalone anthology that never gets picked up like its own thing. I mean,
Well,
I hope it's not the case, but it could be.
Well, I don't mean to plug, but I'll plug it. Go check yourself. It's a podcast that me and J.K. Woodward is on. J.K. Woodward works for Paramount, and he has access to information about what's going on with the show. It is not as in shambles right now as people think it is from the outside looking in. I'll say that.
All right,
it's in a lot better shape, and they didn't need the time that they took to do what they needed to do for the show. So they are working it out. But the hard part is this show is almost like another movie where you're asking people to pay to watch it,
Right.
and you're asking a lot. So it's going to be it's got some heavy lifting to do.
To pay it off.
To pay it off that other shows don't have to do, and it's hard enough to get people to watch a show anyway when it's on free
Yeah,
TV.
but-
So let alone paying the $4.99 a month for the
Right. But
for-
Daryl, I pay to watch Orange is the New Black. I pay to watch House of Cards. I pay to watch Stranger Things.
Netflix earned that over years.
Yep.
Like Netflix earned
True.
extra discs and giving you other shows that you want, other movies and stuff that you wanted.
Yeah, but
You
now
know?
Hulu has original programming. Prime has original programming. You know, we're paying for these things, and yes, there are other things there, but it's the same. I've actually had CBS All Access for like 2-3 years now. That's why I don't understand what they're saying the launch.
Well, you
Because
cut
you're a
the cord.
cord cutter, though. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cut the cord.
Well, they're talking about the launch. It was going to be like a media launch / blitz or whatever for the paid service rather than the free all
Right,
access.
right.
And then the Good Wife like spinoff is only on All Access, right? What do you call it?
Right.
The Good Fight it's called, or yeah.
Yeah, Christine Branson.
Like, imagine if they just said we're going to do AMC is only going to be the next Walking Dead show will only be on the AMC Access show,
Right.
Access app.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Fear the What, like not every Star Trek, and I love them all. I love Star Trek. Not every Star Trek show was as popular as the one that preceded it.
Mm.
So if you think about that,
Bakula.
right? It
They
ended
got a
early.
tough break. I mean, it was a good show.
They got a
Just-
tough break, but it ended early. I mean,
Right.
it just didn't bring
Love
the
that
so,
show.
so imagine if you come out, you launch a new one, and you say you have to pay $4.99 a month.
I don't
for it.
know. I guess I'm the wrong person to ask that because I actually pay to watch The Walking Dead now because I don't have. I watch. I
Because you don't have
Amazon.
cable, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I buy it on Amazon.
I do too. I watch Walking Dead. That's how I
But
do it.
imagine how many people. But for you guys, it'd probably be the easiest to ask to maybe pay for that. For people that are already paying for cable, if they still didn't cut the cord, not everybody cut the cord. I still have cable too, and I have Hulu and I have Netflix.
Right.
You're asking me again, and I'm going to do it, but because I'm such a Star Trek fan, not everybody is that
Yeah.
loyal to the franchise like I am, and you're asking them to come in. You just can't. It's going to take more than Star Trek fans for it to be a hit.
It's all about content. I mean,
Yeah.
CBS has a lot of backlog content, like a lot. I mean, decades and decades of programming.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And that's how that's the secret of Netflix. They have the content that people talk about. You know,
Right.
Stranger Things is a great example. You know, oh, have you seen Stranger Things? No, I don't have Netflix. No, it's only on there or whatever. You know, I mean, they have these kind of
Mhm.
water cooler moments that they used to only have for like HBO shows, like
Right.
Sopranos and
Right.
Wire
Yep.
and stuff.
Because House of Cards was a hit when it first came out. You know, Orange is the New Black was a hit when it first came out.
Right. And I mean, they haven't lost like a whole lot. They haven't dipped a whole lot. I mean, they've kept a lot of their audiences. So.
So now so this new show of the Good Wife spinoff that has to be a hit, and then the Star Trek series,
Mhm.
it's got to be a hit. It's got to be critically, because remember all the Netflix shows that we're talking about, they were critically a hit, and it was also a hit with getting subscription to go up when they were made available. So
It has
that's
all
what
the
we-
old stuff on YouTube. I'm on the CBS All Access website right now. You can
Mhm.
watch every episode, like The Twilight Zone. You can go back to like Cheers is on here, Family Ties, Frasier. So you got like any of the CBS properties. You can go back just like Netflix and watch the entire thing.
Yep.
As part of that, for Mission Impossible, Melrose Place. What is it? Perry Mason, The Odd Couple, Nash Bridges. That was a good show.
That's I share my account with my parents, and they love it because they watch all that Happy Days, all the old Gary Marshall shows, and
Right.
all the old Andy Griffith, and I mean all of that's on there, and they that's what they watch. I think Perry Mason. I think
Yeah,
so.
Hawaii Five-O, I Love Lucy. I'm looking at it right now. So there's a lot of it's kind of they're trying to do their own Netflix thing. Is what they're trying to do. And,
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
and they want Star Trek to be the Sopranos of this, or like I said, Orange is the New Black of their of their
It's
network.
been worth the $5.99 a month I've been paying. I mean, I'm actually considering because they have $4 more a month and it's commercial free, and I'm thinking about doing that.
Oh, wow, you have to pay that much for commercial free.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I do it for Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu's like $1 more, right?
Yeah, it's only like $2 more.
$2
Oh, is it? I haven't done it on Hulu.
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
on Hulu, yeah.
It
But,
is
on,
always.
but on Hulu, their commercial breaks are like 2 minutes or less.
Oh, they're so painful. They're in the wrong
Yeah,
place.
but
Yeah,
they cut it.
but-
They cut it in hard.
Look, it's a matter of efficiency. Do you want to spend an hour watching an hour-long show? Or do you
No,
want
I agree. I
It's
agree.
just-
It's another 20 minutes
commercial,
you can put on the next show you're gonna watch. You know.
I don't want interactions for commercials. Just I don't want it.
And it has all the old Star Treks on here too, DS9, Enterprise, Voyager, Next Generation, and the original Star Trek. So they're gonna have all that because CBS now owns all those properties. So
Which
it's
is a repeat because they also have it on
Netflix.
Hulu, and they also have it on Netflix.
right, exactly. Can't get too much Star Trek. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So some of that is like Melrose Place is also available on Hulu.
Right. So it depends on licensing stuff. What they're gonna do is, I read an article about this. They would love to just get all that off of Hulu and just
Oh, I
have it on
totally.
CBS, but they're not that big yet. They can't do it
No,
yet. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Right. So they
They
get to
did
that
what
point.
Stars did. They're trying to do because remember Stars was had a similar issue where they were on Netflix, and then when they built up their thing enough to the point where they were ready to do it, they took all their programming off of Netflix.
Yep, exactly. Like NBC's trying to play that game too. Like they used to have like Knight Rider and Airwolf. Also, they're pulling all that off of Netflix now to try to drive you to the NBC version of All Access. What do they call it? NBC Classics or something like that. Whatever their streaming service
But
is.
now that Netflix has a new partnership with Disney, they're going to be the exclusive home of the Star Wars movies. They're going to be the
huge.
exclusive home of
Oh,
the
that's
Marvel
huge.
movies.
Yeah.
I mean, if they sign this big deal, they've been trying to sign with Marvel Disney. That's again another giant catalog of exclusive material. You know,
That-
you have a lot of these walled gardens popping up where you pick and choose. And it was so funny for years when people had cable. All I heard was, "Man, I just wish you'd let me pick and choose what channels I wanted." Well, guess what?
Right.
Now you
Now
can.
you can.
Right.
That's what I do.
You know.
And CBS has the backing. At least they have the money to kind of take a hit on this for a little bit.
Right, they can float Star Trek. Even if it's a high production
Right.
cost, they can float it for a while to get this network going. Yeah, it's a good point. They have some money. But let me guys answer this: like, what is it with Warner Brothers shows where none of it's streaming ever? Like any Warner Brothers show from the 80s or 90s, you cannot get it streaming on any service whatsoever. You have to buy each episode individual.
They have that mindset where, and CBS had it too for a while, where they just think you should have to buy all their content.
The
Like, they
DVD
just-
Warner Brothers,
yeah.
Warner Brothers has that Classics Archive where you can order pretty much any Warner Brothers show that ever existed ever, and they'll burn it on a DVD for you and send it to you, but you have to pay for it.
Yeah, okay, and they also have Warner Classics Archive where you can stream it. But all it has, quite honestly, is like they're like movies from the 40s and 30s and 50s,
Right.
which I like that stuff. But it's like enough already. Some of these are like they're not that great movies. And yeah,
behind the times.
I only
Right,
know
so
this. I only know this because it was the only way recently I could get Freakazoid on DVD.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Warner
Warner
Brothers
Brothers.
cartoon.
Love that show.
Yeah, I mean they burn them to order now. They'll sit on some server digitally somewhere, and then when people order them, they burn the CD in there.
Right.
So they're
It's
trying to do
still
their own
a
thing. They're trying to do their own thing with this thing.
It's still a fight because even FX is having. I have the same issue where I wanted to watch Fargo season 2. Still not up.
Can't
Still
get it
not
right.
up.
And the first season it took like a year or something before I made it.
Yeah, it's past that already.
Well, that's because they have their own app that you pay for.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
It's still on
But their app is useless. Like all it has like movies
Yeah.
from the 40s. Like they're
No,
Boba
I'm
stuff.
talking about FX.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think the Warner
Well,
Brothers.
you have to have cable to use it.
Yeah.
If you don't buy it, you have to have cable. That's the other alternative. If you have cable, you
Yeah,
can't.
well, that's how HBO was, but then finally they changed, and you can also, and
Yeah, they-
everybody's going to go that way. And Netflix, their original programming, I mean, they're hedging their bet on that. I mean, they see the future, the stuff's going to come off of their service.
Right.
And what's really interesting is in the last couple of years, they've become, pretty much Comedy Central, if you will. That's where comedians are now taking their specials to. I mean, is they're doing that because HBO it was too expensive. It was taking a lot of money out of their
Netflix is
pocket.
talking about.
With Netflix now, I mean, almost every comedian that is an A-listed comedian is putting an hour special out on Netflix just about every year.
Did Dave Chappelle just do something, sign something with
Yeah.
Netflix now, right?
Yeah, sure did.
Exactly. And it used to be Comedy Central and HBO was where if you were a comedian and you wanted to do a special, that's where you went, and you had to wait till they would allow it and everything else, and it was their budget, their everything, and with Netflix, the cost is on them, but they get more profits out of it. They don't have all these other middlemen and crap going on. So it's definitely helped bolster the comedy scene, and that's where you go for that. So I mean, Netflix is been playing this very smart, and they're going to survive what's going to happen as all these other.
Well, I have another question though. You think about it, AMC has basically there's been some form of Walking Dead show on continuously. For the last year, right?
Right.
Pretty much. Yeah.
With
But
a few
now-
weeks in between, right? I mean,
With
there's
a few weeks in between,
right.
we had more Walking Dead than we've ever had.
But they play the reruns when they're off new episodes. They're playing the old catch-ups,
Exactly.
right? So you're always on it,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Do you think that's causing the ratings to go down?
I know Aaron said so. He's
I
fatigue,
think
right? He's getting zombie fatigue. Enough already. The Fear the Walking Dead is weakening our appetite for the Walking Dead. And that could be happening. I don't know.
I don't think it's the cause, but I think it is a contributing factor. I think that it's many things that are causing it, but it's definitely one of the major contributing factors.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, we'll see what happens. It's good to listen. This is a good time to be watching television. Let's put it that way. If you want your old stuff, your new stuff, you can just spend a little money, and on your TV, on your computer, you can watch almost whatever you want, except Warner Brothers stuff. That's it. So because most stuff produced by Warner Brothers, you can pretty much watch whatever you want, whenever you want.
Last Dinosaur.
Exactly, right. I was trying to watch Babylon 5, Equalizer, Spencer for Hire. I was trying to get a couple episodes of that.
They're gonna come along, but it's coming. But they're still fighting it.
Man, they're fighting it.
Too many old people are still alive.
Those Warners,
Too many people in charge that are still the old heads are still there.
Let him buy the DVDs. We got good sets out there. Let him buy
Somebody
them.
somebody needs to let the Warner Brothers loose out of that tower. Oh, and the Warner sister. She's the cute one.
Oh, you mean Animaniacs or the
Yes, the Warner. Yeah,
the Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers and sister.
What was it? Dot and what's the other one?
Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Thank you, Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
I remember that. I forgot.
Well, they just put it on Netflix like 6 months ago, right?
I was going to say, oh yeah, well,
I haven't watched it in years. I
Oh
forgot.
man, every Saturday I watch that. I used to get up early with my friends to watch it. Yeah.
It was funny.
oh yeah. I
good fetish.
recorded it, and then I mean, hell, you could watch it on YouTube for years and years and years, and then they released it on Netflix this year. So hell yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Pinky in the Brain and all that. Yeah, it's good.
I can pretty much quote every episode and every little skit.
I believe you.
Good stuff. So we had a good little extended conversation here about the future of television. But anyway, it's been a great year talking about The Walking Dead. It's been so much fun bringing it to you, watching it with all our great Facebook fans and listeners, and I had a great time. So I really wish everyone a happy holidays, and we'll take a little break, just a few weeks off, and then we return in February. But we're still doing other things. We still have other podcasts going. So Richard, where can our listeners hear you if they need their Chub Toad fix in the meantime?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at ChubToad01, Instagram at ChubToad01, email ChubToad01@gmail. I'm on the DCTV podcast on this very network with Jim and Daryl and our other host, Jerry. And not that Jerry, sorry, Jerry. And yeah, that's about it.
That's great, Daryl.
Like I said before, you can check out the Star Trek if you're curious about the Star Trek new shows coming up. You can go check yourself. Available on iTunes and on the Taylor Network podcast website. And it's a short podcast. It's only about 20 minutes, 25 minutes long.
Yeah, easy
and,
listen. Easy listen.
Yeah, we get in, get out,
Yeah.
we get you the information. We talk about what's coming up, the stuff that we can talk about that's coming up. And it's a weekly podcast, so you can check it out as well as others on the network.
That's great, Jim.
Chub Toad mentioned I'm the host of the DCTV podcast, and just about to put up our mid-season finale episode, and then a blooper episode as we do for the holiday season. The blooper episodes are always a lot of fun, so check those out, including a rather spirited game of Cards Against Humanity we played Heroes Con 2016 with Daryl and Chubb.
So you recorded this. You've got this recorded. Okay.
Warning, there is explicit language.
I don't even know what we said.
You don't remember.
It's pretty entertaining, but that'll be part of our bloopers episode. Also, I'm on the Taylor Network podcast with Daryl and Donnie for Nothing's On, more of a general wide view look of TV